And we're there.
So do you start just on like this, or
No. Yeah, usually I do something like that. Or try number 3.
that's the bell?
Okay. Yeah, so just pan in on the altar. Zoom out a bit. Yeah, or a little more. That's cool. So everything that goes through here, everything that goes through the microphones goes into there. And so I'll let you do it.
Oh, all by myself?
No, I'll be here.
Oh, okay.
I'll
Okay.
be hanging out. And then, because I want to show you some of the specifics.
Yeah.
Now, when you put this on, some are more tech savvy. Are you speaking tonight? Today? Okay. So the way you have them put these on, and they're all becoming pretty tech savvy in terms of this. But you want to make sure it's on the outside of the lapel instead of inside the lapel. So that would go right there.
Okay, thank you.
And so just remember, whenever you're speaking into that, it's going streaming. So if you don't have that on, we won't hear
So for the children's story, do we have it on tonight?
it. Always leave it on.
Always, okay.
Yeah.
And what do I do with this box? Do I
You
just
can put it in your pocket.
Okay. I'm going to put it on cousin.
Yeah. And then there's a off and on. Let's give it a test. Live 1. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. So we'll control the sound.
Okay.
I'll go to the bathroom real quick.
So we're all gonna go in and kids and are gonna sit in the sit and hear the sound of the bell and just sit quietly until the sound of the bell is no longer discernible. You can't hear it anywhere. We put our hands in. Welcome to the first snowy day of the season. Thank you for your courage in traversing it. So with the family services, we have been working with the three jewels. So the three jewels are Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And today we're going to talk about Dharma. So when the Buddha came to the end of his life, he went and lay under two sal trees, and they shower their blossoms down onto him, and all of the people that surrounded him in his life came to say goodbye and offer their respect and love. And kind of his closest person, his attendant and his cousin, Ananda, was really, really distraught, upset, and said to the Buddha, like, what are we going to do without you? Like, your death means the end of it all. And the Buddha said, look, I've been teaching for over 40 years. You have 40 years of Dharma in the world. That is your teacher. And then he said something to them. He said, be a lamp unto yourself. So if you think about that, like, is a lamp lit from the outside? No, it's actually lit from the inside, right? So he was encouraging all of them to use the teachings to really light up from the inside, using what he called the perfections. So generosity as a way of lighting yourself up from the inside, finding virtue, practicing patience, allowing yourself to keep going when things are a little bit rough, working with energy, practicing meditation and oneness, and wisdom. So he said, if you practice these things in your life, then you will be a lamp unto yourself. You will be living the Dharma. So Dharma with a big D means the teachings of the Buddha. Dharma with a small d means the teachings of everything. So as we practice being a lamp, lighting ourselves up from inside, we start to notice that wisdom surrounds us everywhere in the world. So Zen Master Dogen wrote, looking at a garden in the fall, Gourd with its tendrils is entwined with gourd. This means that we are all intimately wound up with each other, truly inseparable. So today's story is about Dharma with a little d. It's about finding the wisdom in the world in our everyday acts. And it's called May Your Life Be Delicious. So in Rosie's family, they would gather at the harvest time every year. They would come to her grandmother's house, and they knew that it was time to make the tamales. She would always ask, Grandma, do you have a recipe? And her grandma would say, no. I measure with my eyes, and I feel with my hands, and I taste with my mouth. And then I know that the food is good. And her grandmother would pick up a corn husk, which had been soaked in warm water, and hold it in her hand. She said, this corn husk has been soaked in warm water, and now we can use it. And she would speak to all of her grandchildren and say, may you be flexible, like this husk. And then she would hold the husk in her hand, knowing that she was going to wrap the rest of the fillings in it. And she would look at all of her grandchildren and say, may you always have protection around you. And may you learn to protect others. Then she would apply the dough to the crust, not too thick, not too thin. And she would tell them, this dough, this cornmeal, this masa, comes from corn. And she would look at her grandchildren and she would say, like a cornstalk, you should stand tall and proud, able to stand upright in the world. And then she would add the roasted vegetables and the chilies. And once again, she would look at all of her grandchildren and she would say, may you always have food to eat and spice to make things special. Then she would put an olive right in the center of the tamale. Again, she would look at all of her grandchildren and she would say, may you have love and affection in your life, always. She would fold the sides of the corn husk in over the masa, and then she would fold it up from the bottom. And she would look at her grandchildren and smile and say, may you have hugs and many, many hugs. Well, once she had showed her grandchildren how to put the tamales together, everyone got to work. Many, many tamales were made. And they were put in the pot, leaning on each other, supporting each other in the pot with a little bit of water in the bottom. Again, she would say to her grandchildren, may you always have the support of family and community. Well, the heat would be turned on the stove, the tamales would start to steam, the smell would fill the air. Everyone was very hungry, but it takes some time for tamales to cook. Not just 20 minutes, not just 1 hour. So she would turn to her children and she would say, may you always have patience with yourself and with others. Finally, it was time to eat. They would sit down and they would unwrap the tamales, one by one, savoring what they had made together. And their grandmother would look at them all and smile. And she would say, may your life be delicious. So just as his grandmother found wisdom teachings in the making of a tamale, my wish for you is that you find this dharma, this wisdom in your everyday acts. And you notice how what you do every day can support your generosity, your virtue, your uprightness. Or as Rosie's abuelita said, your ability to be flexible, your protection, your security, your ability to stand tall. May you always have food to eat. May you have love and affection. Lots and lots of hugs, the support of family and community, patience, and may your life be delicious. All right, so we are going to stand and do the 3 refuges and 3 prostrations. So.
Bring on the room mic. Lower the volume. Lovely rather. So when I just turned that off, when they haven't want to talk up there, I'll go over there. I just realized.
I go to the Buddha as my refuge. I go to the Dharma as my refuge. I go to the Sangha as my refuge. I go to the 3 jewels within as my refuge. So we will chant again as the family group goes on to their next activity. It's been very lovely to see you all. Ma hum 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 Please come fill in these cushions in the center. And
got it. Thumbs up. Good job.
We just go with it. Great, we're gonna stand and chant the 3 repetitions.
Also for the microphone.
I go for refuge to the Buddha
I go for refuge to the Buddha
and resolve with all beings
and resolve with all beings.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment
and realize the great way.
and realize the great way.
I go for refuge to the Dharma
I go for refuge to the Dharma
and resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will penetrate the teachings
I will penetrate the teachings
and uncover oceans of wisdom.
and uncover oceans of wisdom.
I go for refuge to the Sangha
I go for refuge to the Sangha
and resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will seek great peace and harmony for the many
I will seek great peace and harmony for the many
and transform this world into Buddha land, unimpeded.
and transform this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
Okay, so we'll do a second sitting.
She has it off. She'll turn it on.
So it's, well, it's really loud.
You're good.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's always good to know that your teachers are still learning too. So as you can see, the learning continues. My name is Bhavana Sarah Adae, and I'm a newly ordained Dharma teacher here. Though I usually live in Detroit, so I'm not here all the time. So we had a beautiful full moon this week on Wednesday. The sky was clear and it was huge and beautiful in the sky. A harvest moon for this time of harvest, and it just was sort of a beautiful time of culmination with so many energies moving through and around the world. So where I live in Detroit, there's a line of young maples right where I walk my dogs every morning, and they've turned all different colors of yellows and oranges. So in this November light, sometimes the light can be really low all around, and then there's something that's just lit up, and this line of maples was just lit up. And a friend of mine said it's like a tree haiku. The trees are out here just making visual poetry for us, and really this time of late fall can be a time of great beauty. I think my friends get tired of me saying, like, look at that tree. And it's also a time that can be kind of scary, right? Because it's getting colder, and many things are very difficult and seem scary. And some things are also really hopeful too. So I wanted to continue with the theme of Dharma, which we used in the family service, and just read to you something from the chants, sayings, and recitations book, Moon Journeying Through Clouds, and it's the very first entry, which is called The Way of Buddha, and it goes through the three jewels, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And for Dharma, it says, my mind is Dharma, which is discipline and truth. The well-disciplined mind shines. So there we have again, this being a lamp unto yourself, right? That the way that we shine from the inside, the way that we illuminate the world, comes from a mind which is well disciplined and reveals love and wisdom. That's an interesting phrase, right? That when we discipline our mind, then what is revealed is love and wisdom. Like the moon coming out of the clouds, ultimately there is no delusion, no ignorance, and no death. There is only life, which has to be lived fully every minute, anew. I wish to discover this life and save countless beings from delusion and suffering. Our mind is originally pure, bright, and free from attachments. I now resolve not to cling to anything as real in order to keep this mind pure and free. The disciple is one who has gone beyond. He lives like a cloud, like wind, like trees. She lives like water, like trees, like smiles. I now resolve to cease from all anxiety and flow like eternal happiness and freedom. I am so grateful to be with the grass, to stand with trees, to look up at sky, to run with dogs, to laugh with children, to be among rocks, to greet friends, and to learn that we are all so different yet the same. I now resolve to be ever grateful and protect them all. I love it that trees was mentioned like 3 times in the last 5 sentences. This summer I was on a canoe trip with my youngest son, and we were in Maine, traveling through like lakes and rivers, and it was the end of the day, and we were on a lake, and there were mountains all around, and light was shining on the water, and it was so beautiful. You know, it almost felt like I just wanted to open up every cell in my body and allow it to seep in and have this beauty be part of me forever. And then this thought came to me, like, this is the world. Like, this is the actual world. The world is like this, with this light, this reflection off the water, these mountains, these trees, this sky. This actually is the world, you know? And I am of this. It gave me kind of a grounding I hadn't had before. And was really helpful. So in Detroit, you know, there's all of this beauty, but there's also like a smokestack near my house that sometimes the air just smells like something quite awful, right? So that is the world too. That is the constructed world. And being human, there's this question of like, how do I navigate this? How do I negotiate this? How do I live well and wisely? How can I be a lamp as me today where I am? So this period of time that culminated in the full moon, like, held a lot of like different textures, right? Like, we had Halloween, costumes, candy, chaos. And then we had sort of the celebration of All Saints and All Souls, or Dia de los Muertos, or this real sense of like calling in the ancestors that comes with the beginning of November. And this sense of, this veil between the worlds, being really transparent at that time. And so it just made me really want to bring some new ancestor energy here today. And that is the energy of Joanna Macy. So Joanna Macy was a Buddhist teacher and environmentalist who was born in 1929 and passed away this last summer on July 11th. And she came into this way of working with the teachings of the Dharma and this love for the world out of a crazy despair. And she writes about that in one of her books, which is called World as Lover, World as Self. And sorry. I need like a little podium so you can't see that like I've written in pencil in an old book or something. But oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Look at that.
A little podium.
Ask and you shall receive. Perfect. So she fell into this despair, and she said that actually became the most pivotal point in the landscape of my life, that dance with despair. And then saying, when we see our own despair, then we are called to see how to not run from the discomfort, not run from the grief or the feelings of outrage or even fear. That if we can be fearless to be with our pain, it turns out it doesn't stay static. It only doesn't change if we refuse to look at it. But when we look at it, when we take our despair and our pain and our fear, when we take it in our hands, when we can just be with it and keep breathing, then it turns. It turns to reveal its other face. And the other face of our pain for the world is our love for the world. Our absolutely inseparable connectedness with all life. So I found that to be really helpful right now when, despair is so easily part of the fabric of what we take in, to really examine it and know that the other face of that is our deep, deep caring. And she also says, we are the world knowing itself. So we are not separate from the world, but we are the world knowing itself. We can relinquish our separateness. We can come home again and participate in our world in a richer, more responsible, and poignantly beautiful way than before. So I think it's important to always remember that we are not separate, right? And to me, this idea of Dharma first helps for us to sort of clear away the confusion and noise and things inside, but then lets us see that within every single small action, there's a reflection of wisdom. So the world is offering its beauty and its wisdom, and we can reflect that back. So she says, be generous with your strengths and skills. They are not your private property, and they grow from being shared. She said to be alive in this beautiful, self-organizing universe, to participate in the dance of life with senses to perceive it, lungs that breathe it, organs that draw nourishment from it, is a wonder beyond words. And the last quote that I just want to leave you with, speaks to the way even the smallest actions, when performed, in alignment, can create great changes. So she said, action on behalf of life transforms. Because the relationship between the self and the world is reciprocal, it's not a question of first getting enlightened or saved and then acting. As we work to heal the earth heals us. So, I'll just finish with this reading from Old Moon Journey Through Clouds. The well-disciplined mind shines and reveals love and wisdom like the moon coming out of the clouds. May you be self-illuminated and lighting up the world. All right, so we have some time for questions, stories, discussion. If anybody would like to.
Leslie is back there.
I like the comparison to the moon and coming out of the clouds. And I think there's so much to do with shining your own light on your own self and letting that reflect onto the world around you. And there's so much ease in getting pride up and getting your roots taken out, but it's also not always really you being displaced, taken out of where you are. And there's so much, it's easy to think of a moment in a section of your life to be cut out from the rest of your existence, but usually it is not. And you'll keep going, and you'll be something more than a section or a line, or even a full shape of volume. There's more than that.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you for the Dharma talk this morning. When I was a little boy in Sunday school in the black church, they made us, well, they didn't make us, they encouraged us to sing this song called This Little Light of Mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And when you taught on that, it took me back nearly 70 years, is what they told me. And my teacher once said that it's your thoughts that obscure the clarity of your own mind. As it says in the Dhamma part of the saying of the Buddha, He said, as the moon come behind the cloud and shine, come from behind your own ignorance and shine.
Mm.
And that's only seen in the practice of meditation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning. I appreciate the talk that you have given this morning. I also appreciate that very last reading that you did, and specifically the idea that the skills and wisdom that we possess don't belong to us, but they belong to the world. And they only grow and develop and enhance when we share them with the world. This is an adjacent thought. It also made me think about when we are troubled and when we are in need of support and help. Someone told me once, if you don't ask me for help, if you don't tell me you're in trouble, you are denying me, the person I wanted to ask, you're denying me an opportunity to love you the way that I would like to love you, in the way that you deserve to be loved. And for some reason, those two ideas came together to me, just as you were talking about our gifts that we have that don't belong to us, and also that when we are in need, we deny others if we don't express that need, that we are troubled. So, anyway, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for that. That's very beautiful because just as our gifts don't belong to us, our scarcities don't either, so not to be ashamed of needing help, but to know that that's part of being part of the whole. Yeah, and we could do a much better job of that. Thank you. Okay, I think there's announcements.
I could use so good to be here. Really pleasant morning with you guys. Just wonderful fun to talk in silence. I've got quite a few announcements, 3 pages worth, so I'll get going. So who's here for the first time today? 1, 2, 3. Hello, welcome. Glad to be here. This is an interesting service to start on too. It's being a family service too. And they're often, always now, the second Sunday of every month when we get together like this with the kids first. So typically afterwards we go to the foyer for tea, and we'll still do that even though your clothes, your coats, and your shoes are towards the back door. That's fine. You can come and go. But yeah, we'll serve tea afterwards. And Also, we have, of course, Sundays, every Sunday at 10 for these services. We also like to get people to come to what we call Dharma or Together Action on Saturdays. We have from 3 to 5. And we can, let's see, I'll get right into some of these. Maintain our temple buildings and grounds, and we consider hands-on work as a vital aspect of our Buddhist practice. As we care for the temple, we care for ourselves. And there are sign-up sheets for any kind of upcoming events in the foyer, and I will read you the ones that are coming up. Yoga with David Black meets every Tuesday from 6:30 to 8 p.m. A Lotus Sutra study group with Shijan Cliff Brown meets every Tuesday from 7 to 8:15, so also Tuesday, both in person and on Zoom. Each gathering, we read verses from the Lotus Sutra and have the opportunity to share with others. Samantha Sarah Scholl here also leads a Qigong class on Monday evenings from 6:30 to 8 p.m. here in the Buddha Hall. The class teaches you to use gentle movements, stretching, and mindful breathing to bring your body, mind, and spirit deeper into harmony. A sign-up sheet is available in the foyer. Our next day of mindfulness will be offered November 28th, the day after Thanksgiving. Unplug from media, put aside to-do lists, and follow your urge to meditate and just sit. The schedule begins at 9 a.m. and includes periods of sitting, meditation, walking, mindful work practice, rest, and simple stretching with a delicious vegetarian lunch at midday, all concluding by 5 p.m. The temple offers meditation classes on a regular basis. Our 5-week version offers 2 hours of instruction per week from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Thursday evenings, and the next class will begin on January 8th. We also offer the same instruction in a condensed overnight format from Friday evening at 7 p.m. through noon on Sunday. The next overnight meditation class is December 5 to 6. We're all grateful to you all who have responded to our fall fundraising campaign and invite those who have not yet participated to join in. So far, we've raised $15,500 towards our goal of $25,000. Contributions will be used to offer scholarships to support tuition, classes, training programs, residency and peace camp, the repair of the water damaged foundation wall in the historical temple building basement, upgrade the offerings for our temple library, augment our long-term building fund for upcoming major historic repairs, including roofing upgrades, skylight replacement, electrical systems, evaluation, and new windows on the first and third floors. The temple has a Sangha Care Committee. We invite you to join the Sangha Care Committee in supporting 2 important local initiatives. We'll be collecting and assembling items from food gatherers in a program called Kids Lunches for Love, and also for emergency kits for Washtenaw County Senior Nutrition Program. Your contributions will help provide food, comfort, and care to children and seniors in need in our community. Please bring all donations by November 23rd at 10 a.m. to the Buddha Hall or the container up on the porch of the Yellow Historical Temple building. There's a flyer in the lobby if you wish to want more information. In the upcoming e-bulletin, there will be a QR code for a list of needed items. Also, if you're aware of anyone who needs a basket, please let us know. And I don't know if there might be additional announcements too.
What do you think? That's a lot of good information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and we're also coming together as a sangha through this group. in providing care when possible. Our online Sangha meets every Sunday night from 7 to 8:30 p.m. This service joins with practitioners from our temples in Toronto, Ann Arbor, and New York, as well as those living at a distance. The Zoom link is located on our website, www.zenbuddhisttemple.org. The temple's in need of people to operate our sound system during Sunday service. If you have always dreamed of being a disc jockey, or have an interest in operating and working with the equipment you see in front of this room, please talk to Chijang, Samoon, and Magamuk. Training will be provided, and we would love to have you join the team. And this temple is entirely supported by your generous donations. There's a fishbowl in the foyer and for monetary donations, as well as an electronic credit card device. And I think there's one more announcement we didn't cover.
Recovery Dharma will meet in the historic Blue Hall, the yellow building next door at noon today in the library.
So we'll end with 3 bows.
We usually do have to put these mats and cushions in the corridor in the chopping
So
board.
to shut down and screen.
Except